As a deeply compassionate and sensitive woman, working in a very demanding and dynamic corporate world as a chartered accountant, the best thing that I did for myself was build my self-esteem. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 self-esteem challenges that I experienced as a chartered accountant at work. Feel free to join me, get yourself a drink, get cozy, and let's get right in. Many of my clients who I work one-on-one with come to me with a very strong misconception about self-esteem and self-confidence. A lot of them are introverted and shy, and they attribute their lack of confidence to their personality. So they inherently feel that their self-esteem and self-confidence cannot be built because it is who they innately or inherently are. And so as a result, they believe that they cannot or will not be able to achieve their career dreams and goals, and they become very despondent because they believe within that they actually cannot build their self-esteem and self-confidence. So let's get into the 5 challenges that I experienced relating to my self-esteem and my self-confidence when I worked in the corporate world for 10 years as a chartered accountant. Yet I was so unaware that these challenges were self-esteem related. I felt stuck. I felt like there was an invisible wall between who I was and who I wanted to be, the bold, courageous, and limitless version of myself that I envisioned. And I didn't know how to dissolve this wall and dissolve these barriers. And that's why this video is so important for you, because if you relate to these self-esteem challenges and struggles, then you need to know that by building your self-esteem, you can overcome them, you can overcome the blocks, and you can actually achieve a life where you feel deeply fulfilled within, tap into your fullest potential, and achieve your career dreams and goals. The first challenge that I had related to my self-esteem and self-confidence is that I lacked the confidence to share my opinions and my thoughts and my ideas in meetings at work. As a chartered accountant working in a corporate, we were often in meetings and in rooms full of people. And the more I thought about what I wanted to say, even when I did have an opinion to share, I would struggle to come forward and voice my opinion. I would build up thoughts in my mind of what I wanted to say, and I would actually envision myself saying this out aloud in the meeting room. But the more time passed and the more these thoughts built up, the more I wouldn't say anything. And after the meeting, I would feel really bad about myself, having missed the opportunity to contribute to the meeting in a meaningful way, because I was so full of self-doubt and constantly questioning myself and my abilities in my mind. And I would just end up feeling really disheartened, despondent, and it would really bring down my self-confidence and my self-esteem. The second challenge that I had was when I did have to speak. So when there was a part of the meeting that was allocated to me, where I had to present my work or contribute to the conversation, I would be so anxious inside that before I clicked the unmute button, I would feel so overwhelmed with fear and anxiety that when my words did come out, it was almost as if I was losing my breath and my words were being swallowed. It resulted in me stuttering and stumbling over my words and fumbling, and I wouldn't be able to articulate my thoughts and articulate my words and pull sentences together. I would come across as really lacking confidence. My voice would be shaky, and it would result in me being really critical and judgmental of myself after, constantly wondering how are the other people in the team, my bosses, my managers, my peers perceiving me, because I didn't feel like I did good enough. And even when I did receive good feedback, it was really hard for me to accept because I had such a loud inner critic in my own mind that was bringing me down. The third challenge that I struggled with on the topic of wondering how people are perceiving me was that I was terrified of being judged at work as a chartered accountant as incompetent or weak or fragile or not good enough or inadequate. And I would constantly look for signs from my managers, my bosses, my peers, the people around me, to see whether they were evaluating me as good enough or not. And again, this would send me into a very negative state of mind where, again, I would become very judgmental of myself and critical of myself. And what it did is it's brought down the quality of my work life, because I was constantly on edge and I was constantly overthinking everything. I was constantly full of doubt, and it was imposter syndrome. Another challenge that I had that really made me feel bad about myself at work was when my boss or my manager would call me, would phone me, I would immediately dread the call and feel anxious, because if he or she were to question me or even ask me just really straightforward basic questions, I would be terrified of giving the wrong answer, and I would be terrified of my boss or my manager judging me again as stupid or dumb or weak or incompetent. And I would also be afraid of getting into trouble. The fifth and last self-esteem challenge that I want to share with you in today's video is that I really struggled to feel free to be my true self at work. So in other words, I struggled to be my true self, to be open and to be friendly with my peers and my colleagues at work. What I noticed is that the person who I was at home, I was open and I was warm and I was myself. I didn't feel anxious to be myself or to share all parts of myself at home. But at work, I was very closed off and I was really rigid, and maybe this came across as unfriendly. But I struggled to be confident and natural and myself at work like I was at home. One of the fears that I had was I was afraid of being unprofessional, and I was afraid of coming across as overly friendly. What made the situation worse was that I saw how effortlessly my peers and my colleagues and my managers and my bosses flowed in conversation and joked with each other, and I saw how this enhanced their ability to build connections and relationships in the workplace, which ultimately led to their success in their roles and their careers as a whole. If you resonated with these challenges and self-esteem struggles that I have just described, then the best news is that you can actually overcome them by building your self-esteem just like I did. And if you are in a place in your life where you are saying to yourself, I'm tired of my quality of life being deteriorated by my overthinking and my self-doubt and my anxiety and my constant fears that I live with every day, then you have to join my one-on-one 7-month coaching program called Leveled Up and Limitless. Not only do I help you build the inner confidence to feel more relaxed when you are speaking, I give you the tools and the strategies and the mindset to overall in your life become more assertive and develop a confident voice. But this is not the only thing that you get when you join my program. It's also about taking you on a journey of building your best, most confident and worthy self. So in other words, you go on a journey of learning who you are and deeply understanding who you are, building your self-confidence, building your self-worth, and learning how to live authentically and align yourself to a life that is true to your needs, your wants, your values, and your dreams. I've studied and trained in coaching, NLP, self-esteem, compassionate inquiry, and I'm qualified in my foundations here in psychotherapy, in transactional analysis. And what I've done is, in the program, you get the exact tools, the strategies, and the knowledge that I have integrated in my own life, where I have seen phenomenal life-changing results. It's the process that allowed me to break down my walls and build confidence so that I could build strong relationships and connections with my colleagues and my peers at work. It also allowed me to develop a confident voice. So I had a very shaky, nervous voice where I was terrified of speaking in a group. And now, as part of my career as a coach and as a speaker, I speak at podiums, I speak for corporate organizations doing keynote presentations. And it also allowed me to become the vice president within my team within Treasury Finance in the financial services industry when I was working in corporate before the age of 29, which for me is a major accomplishment because that was a role that I saw the most prestigious, elite, and most intelligent people attaining. And yet my self-esteem allowed me to cultivate my self-belief, my self-confidence, and my self-worth that allowed me to attain such a position before the age of 30. So if you want to reach your fullest potential and you want to live the life that you've always envisioned living, a life of purpose and impact, and if you've always seen yourself being a person of greater self-esteem, the person that allows you to feel capable and deserving of achieving everything that you want in your life, your self-esteem is the key to achieving that. This is not for you if you are looking for a feel-good, temporary, quick fix. This is for you if you are looking for a journey to go on, to build your self-esteem foundations that are going to serve you for the rest of your life. We don't just look at the symptoms and the behaviors that are causing you challenges and struggles, but we really get to the root of your limiting beliefs and your self-worth and your self-confidence challenges, and we address these at the root. It's a program that provides lasting change in how you show up in your life because it transforms your mindset, your energy, and your belief system from the root, and it builds solid foundations that you are going to have for the rest of your life. It allows you to become the version of yourself that you've always envisioned becoming, the bold, courageous, and limitless version of yourself, but more importantly, feeling deeply fulfilled on the inside. If you want to get my client testimonials and learn more and apply, the link will be below in the description box. And with that, I want to thank you for being here, and I wish you a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.